Of course, it's pretty much a home game for them. This place is bathing in Carolina blue here in Charlotte, North Carolina for Hubert Davis. Now in his 4th year, plenty of work to do after a poor start. One of the tougher schedules in the country. And up against Todd Golden and the Gators, who are averaging their win total by about 21 points a game. So they really haven't been tested. We'll see if that takes place here tonight as Carolina wins the opening tip.
One of just 5 undefeated teams remaining in Division I men's college basketball. North Carolina has to win free throw line to free throw line, Dave. That's where their speed is. That's where their elite athleticism is. That's how they have to be able to play to win the game.
Well, Davis gets a look right away, but can't hit the 3. Does come in averaging 18, but as you mentioned, only 25% from three-point line. He's got to get rolling. Clayton Jr. getting it downstairs to one of the bigs in Condon, and misfires in close. And a quick whistle here in the opening seconds. Chinyelu, the 6'10 sophomore from Nigeria, gets hit on the play.
Chinyelu averages more rebounds than points. He understands what his role is. He's going inside to rebound. He's going to be on the weak side glass. He can be punishing on the inside. That's 40 minutes of wear down effect is what Florida's hoping.
Cadeau, the Carolina point guard, picking up the first foul, and that's going to be a turnover. We're going the other way. North Carolina's starting lineup. We mentioned Elliot Cadeau. He's running the point. Seth Trimble getting 16 points a game. Brought to you by Novant Health. And Powell, a talented freshman. In the paint, the bounce out by Lubin. And a little follow away here. That's going to swish in. Powell gets the first bucket, the 6'6 freshman out of Pittsburgh, North Carolina.
Really playing out of position, having to guard Condon, who's 6'11". He's given up some size and some strength, but there's the double by Lubin.
Lubin came in, knocked it free. Carolina, of course, going to run every chance they get. Three-pointer, one fall for Cadeau. He's another guy struggling with a shot. That's been plaguing Carolina from the outset this year, facing 3 highly ranked opponents in their first 8 games, and now getting another one tonight, the number 7 ranked Gators. Powell in the corner. Here's Cadeau with a clean look, and a lot of iron, but no. It'll be controlled by the Gators. North Carolina striking first, Florida looking for the answer.
Walter Clayton Jr. right here, number 1 in orange, leads the team in scoring. He is a dynamic scorer for Florida.
Richard with a little step, can't hit. He had an open look. They're going to get a second effort on it. Chinyelu in close, but no. Missed with the baby hook. Dribble quickly down the lane, off balance. The tip won't fall. And the Gators crashing the glass again. Martin in the offensive zone, one of their better scorers at 15 a game, and a terrific all-around performance this weekend against Arizona State in Atlanta. Tipped out by North Carolina.
When you don't have the kind of shot blocking presence that North Carolina is lacking, you have to rotate, and you got to read and be connected on the weak side, and you got to stay active. Seth Trimble active on the weak side, ready to make a play.
Does strike you. You're not used to it with North Carolina. They look small.
They are small, but they're quick. That's why I say free throw line to free throw line is where they got to win the game, Dave. They've got to make their presence felt with their speed.
Chinyelu underneath for 2.
Because Chinyelu right now is dominating on the interior. He hasn't scored on all the offensive putbacks, but he is offensive rebounding.
Sophomore now from Nigeria, played his freshman year at Washington State. Only 6 points a game. And nothing but air under that long jump shot by Powell. In his first college start against Alabama. Martin with a fall away. Got it.
Todd Golden will tell you that Elijah Martin is incredibly tough. Got him out of the portal from FAU. He can score and he can defend.
15 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists this weekend. One and done, Carolina. And here comes Clayton Jr. with it. He's the top scorer on the floor. 19 points a game. He'll lift and knock down a long 3.
And you got to get up and press into him. Seth Trimble hands down. You got to pick him up quickly.
Carolina's missed 6 consecutive shots. Powell on the drive. Pretty scoop, but no. Florida's going to run when they have the chance. Clayton with the kick out for Richard. And yes, another 3. And a 10-0 run for the Florida Gators.
Walter Clayton Jr. gets to the nail, and when he gets to the nail, he's going to make a play. It's a really nice kick to Richard.
Cadeau with the drive. Nicely done off the window.
Both these teams like to score quickly in the first 15 seconds of the shot clock. According to Ken Palm, they're both in the top 20.
The Tar Heels just snapped a 3-game losing skid with a win on Saturday against LaSalle. And a regional foul here with 15:45 to go. We'll take our first time out in the opening half. North Carolina ending a long run and misses there, but 10-4 Florida in front in the Jumpman.
Trying to do a better job of not feeling like every game will be won or lost based on what he does.
Yeah, Myron, I mean, Hubert Davis was very clear with us as well that it's not all R.J. Davis's responsibility for where the record is and the schedule that they've played and how challenging it's been. He said he needed a mental reset. He said he got one. He trusts the work that he's put into the game, and he knows that he's put in the work. Listen, the kid's a consensus All-American last year, right? Player of the year in the ACC. Those things don't disappear. But the spacing on the floor has changed for R.J. Davis.
The foul will go on Jalen Withers of North Carolina, tangled up with Martin on the baseline. Then again, I mean, and Carolina fans are going to say he's the reigning ACC Player of the Year. Had a great year last year. Consensus first-team All-American. So that pressure is inherent. The performance is expected, isn't it, Clayton, with a long misfire?
Well, he wants to win, right? And so scoring has been a big part of the way he's helped North Carolina win, and he's not shooting it well right now. So he's doing other things, and he's cognizant of that. That's what winners do. They find another way.
A terrific ball movement and a three-pointer cashed in by Richard. Florida started 0 for 3. They have caught fire very quickly, 5 for their last 6.
And Hubert Davis has countered with some more size on the front line, if you can call it that, right? Because we don't usually talk about North Carolina having size on the front line.
Yeah, against Washington in at 6'10" to try and do something here. But Florida putting North Carolina in a danger zone right away. Cadeau's pass tipped, Washington rolling inside. Up and in by Withers.
Withers on the weak side boards. Sometimes a dunk like that can be worth more than 2 points. Let's see if it helps North Carolina get going.
Well, you bet you Richard will launch another one. What a great-looking shot coming off the hand. Will Richard, the 6'4" senior. He's only hitting 25% from 3. You can't tell by that shot. 2
uncontested threes with no resistance.
North Carolina looking for the answer, but a long one by Withers. And tipped and controlled by Houck on the baseline. Another big body for the Gators at 6'9", and that'll go the other way. 16-6 lead here for the undefeated Florida Gators.
Nice pick and roll right here in the middle of the floor. The rotation comes over, Xing out on the, dropping the low eye, and then it opens up the weak side glass, and then Richard steps into one.
And North Carolina had not played in a week before taking on LaSalle and beating them at Chapel Hill over the weekend. Trying to get an edge. Washington in close, and he'll draw the foul. Jalen Washington, who has played in almost 70 games at Carolina and has had a pretty slow path to regular minutes. He was blocked immediately, well, first by a knee injury, and then Armando Bacot right in his way all those years.
Well, remember, coming out of high school, he really didn't play much his junior and senior years in high school. He had some injury, and then, yeah, playing behind Armando Bacot for 2 years, right? I've heard Hubert Davis say in many different settings, Armando Bacot is one of one. And remember that R.J. Davis and Armando played together in that pick and roll game for 4 years.
Yes, and awfully well. Armando, 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, great college career. Will Richard picked up the foul. Washington at the line, only 57%. And too strong. And another whistle, and a lot of those coming all of a sudden. Game number 1. Todd Golden, wondering what? 10-0 record this season, second best start in program history. Foul one on Sam Alexis, his second. He's only been in the game about a minute and a half.
He's got the bottom spot on the free throw line. You usually don't see that call.
Right. Slithering inside for the slam is Washington. Left wide open.
The adjustment by Hubert Davis early to get floor has paid off.
So Carolina showing some life in front of this crowd of about 13,000, most of them wearing their colors. Hauk on the spin into the lane, popped it up there and in. Nice move by the sophomore out of New Oxford, Pennsylvania.
6'9" with great footwork. That's the one thing that Todd Golden loves about his bigs, is that they can defend on the perimeter, they can score on the inside, they shoot the three fairly well, and they definitely rebound.
Davis not there, doesn't have the groove yet, and another whistle. And that will go against North Carolina with 13:09 to go.
Watch this move right here. What a beautiful floater at the front of the rim.
Jalen Washington picking up number 1. Hauk and Alex Condon are known as the Bash Brothers inside the program. That's a nod to Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco from the Oakland A's back in the 1980s. Don't mind getting physical. They're rough and rugged. 18-9, the Gators and the ball. Hauk on a high post, looking for a cutter. Here's Clayton, who can be explosive. 25 against Arizona State over the weekend. Leans in, battling for the rebound. Went for the save, but North Carolina comes away.
Good defense by the Heels on that one.
And a tie-up on the play after the misfire on the lay-in attempt. And another whistle. Boy, a lot of fouls piling up. That'll go on Thomas Hauk. And number 1 on the sophomore.
Florida setting the tone, knowing that's their advantage. Their size up front. North Carolina, pace of the game is Florida's right now. They haven't been able to really speed it up and score in transition.
That cloud at the line, and another substitution here for the Gators. Elijah Martin back on. Martin, a grad out of Mississippi. Clayton's a senior. Will Richard is a senior. So the leaders for the Gators are all guys who graduated or in their senior year. So Golden gets great leadership on the floor. And now North Carolina's going to press a little bit.
I like the situational pressing we've seen Hubert Davis throw on the floor. This is what I'm talking about, trying to win free throw line to free throw line. Can you speed up the Florida Gators here? Can you turn them over?
Martin left open. Got a good look. Hauk went high up for the rebound, bottled up on the double. He deflected it off North Carolina, so Florida will retain possession on the baseline. So Hauk with a cagey play to keep it. 18-10 the Gators. Richard with 9. Getting it inside for the quick strike on Aberdeen, who's only 6'5", plays bigger than that.
Really good execution.
So the Gators by 10. Carolina looking for a hot hand. Will they get it from the corner? That one too strong. Off target by Jackson. Here's Goodell. It was in and out, man. It was in the cylinder. At times here so far in the first half, the Heels can't buy a basket. They're 0 for 8 from 3. Martin again gives it up very unselfishly for the swish by Aberdeen. And this is their biggest lead in the first half.
So fluid, moved the ball so well.
Dave Tyson now in the game, 6'7" junior, coming off a big one over the weekend. He'll lift in. That's too long. Just nothing from beyond that three-point line for North Carolina in the first half. So the Gators have opened it up here, 23-10. Here in game number 1 in the Jumpman, going downtown in Charlotte.
So they want to win. And Todd Golden talked about loyalty. And to your point, Myron, absolutely that's the leader of the team. He and Martin are connected. Like, I asked him today, you know, they said they trust each other, they trust the staff, they know this is a very well-connected group from the head coach all the way down to the end of the bench.
One of the things you were asking about today was, you guys haven't been in a close game. You know, what's going to happen when you're in a close game? Obviously, they have no interest in being in a close game.
Well, North Carolina has got to get some stops, okay? They've got to do a better job of contesting and keeping Florida in front.
Martin Martin on the dribble, trying to get in close. Almost tripped, but hit the shot anyway. Very tough.
That's a bully ball basket right there. Just taking Cadeau down to the paint. That's a matchup coming off the timeout. Good call from the bench.
Trimble trying to make a move inside. He'll draw the foul before the shot. Seth Trimble has actually been playing pretty well, generally speaking. Shooting 52% overall, averaging 15 points a game. That's a career high for him.
Seth Trimble might be the most improved player in the ACC. He goes from 5 points to 15 this year, 17 minutes to 31 minutes a game, and he's definitely improved his three-point shooting.
Aberdeen, his first foul. A struggling Davis has it out at the logo. North Carolina trying to find some answers right now offensively. There are none on the three-point line. They're 0 for 9. Davis with a shot clock down to 5. Slithered that one inside. Great defense on Lubin.
See, that's the bigs guarding on the perimeter. Good ball pressure on R.J. Davis. Make him give it up and force someone else to score.
Down the lane, a little bit of a wild shot. Out of control. This crowd that wants to roar for North Carolina has to sit on their hands, but a nice move by Davis for 2.
It's a great job of R.J. Davis to get off the ball and to get to his right hand. When he goes right, whether he's coming off a pin down action or zoom action, he is so good at accelerating into that action.
Well, his first points come midway through the first half. Martin from three-point land swished it in.
So he's sizing up Cadeau and Davis is Elijah Martin. Back-to-back buckets.
Nifty little crossover there like he was going to go inside. A lot of contact on Lubin. He kicks it out. Trimble looking for a shooter in the corner, but that won't fall. Hey, Tyson can't hit. There's a lid on it beyond the three-point line, but not for the Gators, although a misfire by Clayton Jr. And R.J. Davis is fouled trying to come out of the pack with 9:20 to go in the first half.
Watch this drive right here. Martin sets it up, creates some separation off the bounce. Excellent footwork to get gathered behind the three-point line.
Yeah, he told me today that he's staying away from the weight room. He said he thought he was too bulky in the past, and he doesn't want to look like a football player. He instead wants to look like a basketball player. However, he did add that he was a 3-star quarterback in high school when I talked to him.
Running back is what he looks like. And when he drives, Myron, he has his shoulder pads over his thigh pads like you would hitting the offensive line, right, to get some extra yardage. So he's an incredible athlete. He's a winner, and he's got incredible toughness.
I was going to say, maybe he's taking it down from linebacker to fullback at this point, but obviously he is impressive. Davis at the line. RJ, always a great foul shooter, 87%. Just had some miserable shooting games. 3 for 15 against Kansas, 7 for 24 against Alabama. Began the season 5 for 25 from the three-point line, but he gets to the line, he makes them.
Full court pressure.
So Florida has more three-point field goals than North Carolina has total field goals. 6-5. Exactly the wrong start for Carolina against this Florida team. Martin quickly inside, and he'll draw the foul. He'll be at the line. And right now, kind of doing everything he wants offensively.
Well, it's a really good job by Todd Golden and his staff to put Elijah Martin in a position where he can be effective and score. We saw him post up Elliot Cadeau, take him down to the paint. We saw him step back on Davis, and now he turns the corner and gets to the free throw line. The complete skill set on display right now.
Ben Allen Lubin with the foul. The 6'8" junior picks up 1. Martin, typically a good free throw shooter, 82%. Also an impressive dunk artist. He can elevate quickly. And sinks the second. So Florida continues to add to their lead at 9 minutes to go in the opening half. And on the men's side, Oklahoma and Michigan will play tomorrow night in a battle of top 20s. Davis just lost the handle on it. Gave that one away. Condon gives it up for Martin, and an open look won't fall for him. So can't hit the transition three. Cadeau's having a lot of trouble getting inside that lane. Staying outside here. Trying to get in there. And it's going to be a kick ball. With 8:27 left in the half. So it has not been easy going for the 6'1" sophomore Cadeau, and I mean all season long.
Well, because North Carolina is struggling to shoot the three, now Florida starts to pinch a little bit, and they're not worried about getting out to shooters now. They're protecting inside out until North Carolina makes some.
Clayton with a trip. And the other thing that's been talked about Elliot Cadeau. Remember, he's a sophomore, and he came out of high school a year early, so it's ought to be his freshman year anyway. But that he's being left open because teams are challenging him to shoot the shot. They don't believe he can make those, and he's not been hitting.
Well, the last three, he's 1 for 11 coming into the game from the three-point line. So the scout report on Elliot Cadeau is you make him hit a couple until he proves he can stretch the floor a little bit. So therefore, you got to play him with a cushion, right? And that's why it's harder for him to get by guys. He's so quick and athletic, though. They got to get it on a ball reversal and look to attack a closeout.
Another one for R.J. Davis. So they inch a little bit closer here. 29-16. Carolina needs a long run, though, before half. More on the high post, Condon. Clayton Jr.
And a really nice flare screen.
Davis going up against the Gators all by himself to bank it in.
Here comes R.J. Davis.
Condon to the paint. Zipping it downstairs. And a nice block on that play by Powell. And a whistle. Florida with the foul. Well, the Tar Heels beginning to move it a little bit.
Off their D, in their speed, up the floor. Too tough. R.J. Davis scored the last 6 for the Heels.
Auburn in Birmingham. The Auburn Tigers absolutely loaded. Many believe the best team in the country right now. Just toyed with Ohio State on Saturday.
Yeah, they demolished the Buckeyes early. And how about Rick Barnes with the #1 Tennessee team, right? The offensive and defensive efficiencies for both Tennessee and Auburn are really close. They're so good. You know, you can make a case for Auburn to be #1. I mean, but Tennessee and Rick Barnes' team is undefeated, one of the 5 that's undefeated.
All I do know is this, as Lubin shoots at the line, the SEC is incredibly talented. I was talking to Todd Golden before the game. He said right now, the SEC might get 12 teams in the NCAA.
I mean, today, Joe Lunardi's already putting his stuff out, and he's got 13 teams from the SEC in.
Wow. Shot clock down to 12. Usually Florida doesn't wait that long. Houck will try to get it to Martin, but tapped out of play with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Especially coming off a timeout. Usually you see very clear and crisp execution off of Todd Golden's offense.
You're seeing some heightened energy by North Carolina here. Still 0 for 10 beyond the three-point line.
And 6 for 13 from 2-point range.
Just got it off to Clayton. Chinula right back up for 2. He's been a lot to handle here in the first half for Carolina.
He's got 3 offensive rebounds.
31-18. Florida undefeated at 10-0. North Carolina at 6-4. And playing their 4th top 10 opponent already this season. Coming on the baseline. What a difficult angle. Tipped it up, missed again, and a whistle. And that'll go the other way. That's going to be on North Carolina. The foul will go on Trimble, his first.
Watch the hang time. He can absorb contact. He just gets it short of the square up there on the backboard. And North Carolina continue to dig in right here, right? You got to get a stop. They've got to be able to get on the glass and finish off the possession.
Here's Martin. Pass interrupted. Nice job there by Powell. Had his hands up. Davis in transition. Can't stick it. Clayton with a rebound. They want to push it to the other end. Richard with a dipsy-do for 2.
What an athletic play by Richard. What a pass.
Well, he's coming off basically a home game in Atlanta on Saturday out of Georgia, and had an excellent game with 16.6 rebounds against Arizona State. Lost it again around the back. Houck will give it up for Martin. A reach in and a foul by Jackson.
Watch this advanced pass. Richard goes up and up and up to finish.
Is that pretty? We've seen a number of those by the Gators. Richard with 11 points, 3 for 4 from three-point land.
I think Todd Golden's got to be pleased. They're scoring in every facet of the game. In transition, off the glass. They've knocked down their three-point shots. They're getting to the free throw line here late in the half.
Battling on the boards, and we'll have another shot at it. Clayton will attack and just lay it in. It opened up for him, and this is their biggest lead of the first half. 35-18. That's exactly what Carolina could not afford to do. Fall behind like this in the first half. Another run. This one a 6-0 run for the Gators. 5.5 to go before the break.
They like to get RJ over to the weak side so he can come to his right hand.
Jackson tried to split the D. They take it away again. Here's Richard going airborne, and it's tipped out by Florida. So it'll be North Carolina's ball. And Hubert Davis will bring on Jalen Withers at 6'9". Let's toss it over to Myron.
Yeah, I talked to Elijah Martin about some of these big leads and big runs that they've experienced this season. He said Florida can feel when a team is vulnerable. And once they feel like they have them weakened, they just go into attack mode and they trust each other, and that's when the chemistry kicks in.
Martin tried to hold up Davis and literally did. He commits the foul.
You have got to sit on R.J. Davis's right hand. It was a big part of the emphasis in shoot-around today. Let me say, the shoot-around that Todd Golden and his assistant Jonathan Sapphire ran today was absolutely
really impressed. Yeah.
They have video. They show a concept, and then they come on the floor and execute it. Then they go back and work on another defensive concept on video. It's a great teaching tool. I thought it was brilliant. His whole staff is locked in. Everyone has a voice.
And it's a program and a staff that really relies seriously on advanced metrics and some new age teaching tools. As you point out, Davis knocks that down.
These kids today are visual learners. I mean, that's what, instead of looking through a bunch of paperwork and writing a bunch of stuff on the board, show it to them on film and then get on the court and execute it.
Clayton quickly to his left in the baseline. The scoop, no, but he draws a foul. There have been a lot of fouls. Actually, Florida's committed a lot of fouls here in the first half as Jackson picks up number 2. So not the most fluid of halves we have seen so far in the early part of the college basketball schedule, but with Florida just continues to break away from opponents and make them chase all night and chase from way back.
Well, it's all predicated on closeouts, right? Move the ball, cut through the lane. Right guys taking shots and forcing the defense to have to come on a closeout. And against Florida, you got to come with a long closeout because they have multiple three-point shooters, so it changes the space on the floor. It's not that hard. It's hard to execute. It sounds simple.
Does sound simple. Cadeau back on the floor now for Hubert Davis. Clayton makes 1 of 2. So back to a 16-point advantage. R.J. Davis has scored the last 10, most of those at the line, though, for North Carolina. They need someone to shoot the ball, particularly beyond that three-point line. Cadeau won't. He's going to drive it. Little leaner, and that falls in.
You see, that's a great time based on the same premise. Reverse the ball, force a closeout. Nice job by Cadeau off the glass.
Clayton's not going to wait on the other end and miss. Trimble picked up quickly by Clayton Jr.
Icing a ball screen over here, trying to keep R.J. Davis on one side of the floor.
Cadeau got it. Finally for North Carolina.
Back-to-back sophomore.
Their first triple of the ball game. Down the lane, scooping it up and in is Will Richard. He has been a handful. Poke from behind, knocked out by the Gators with 3:42 to go in the first half. North Carolina trying to make that late half run in the Jump. Carolina hoping to cut in. Their fans are still in a good mood, at least right now, because they're showing some life offensively. It's so hard for North Carolina to work that transition game when Florida's shooting 54%.
They can get back and set their D. There's not many transition opportunities, and North Carolina hasn't been able to turn Florida over very much, so that's not allowing for easy opportunities either. But they have been getting to the free throw line, OB.
They have been, and certainly Davis is conning straight on to rattle in a triple. The big fella, the 6'11 sophomore from Australia.
21 of Florida's 41 from the three-point line.
Davis into traffic. Here's Washington. It was open but couldn't hit it. It's been said a lot here in the first half for North Carolina. And a foul from behind will go on North Carolina. The reach by Jalen Withers is second.
Early offense for Alex Condon. He does a great job of rim running and then getting deep position. Really good feed inside by Richard. He just steps into it.
A very good pick and pop guy, too. Been a big part of their success. Condon at the line, where he hits 64% of his foul shots, averaging 12.7 rebounds a game. And another one coming. So Florida looking pretty darn comfortable. Every time it looks like North Carolina is going to spurt and really slice off some of this lead, the Gators chomp right back, usually with a triple. And Condon's second, making 1 of 2, and here come the Tar Heels. On the run, Tyson down the lane. Oh, outstanding defense there by Condon, at least to harass the shot.
I mean, you got to dunk that.
Played with a step back three. Can't drill it.
Walter Clayton Jr. 1 for 6 outside the three-point line.
Took a bump, no whistle there. He hit the deck. No foul on the play. And now there is on Clayton on a reach-in. 2:32 to go in the half. The foul on Clayton Jr.'s second.
I think you got to dunk that. And Condon blocks it into their transition game. And Walter Clayton Jr. gets a look on the other end, but he has not shot it well here so far.
North Carolina getting to the line here late in the half. Trimble is 83%. North Carolina over the weekend had a nice win against LaSalle, but they were only 11 for 23 at the foul line. A much better foul shooting team than that.
Well, their guards are excellent free throw shooters. R.J. Davis, Seth Trimble.
Even the freshman Jackson pretty good. He's hit 84%. And Trimble smooth there. (42-27). Gators have been impressive here in the first 20 minutes. Aberdeen slithering downstairs to lay it in. Beautifully run play.
If you don't jump to the ball, you get beat back door. That's what happened to Cadeau.
Trimble airborne. They'll swing it. Davis is open from three-point land. Got it. And starting to get his groove back, it would appear. They need it desperately. Richard tried to answer, was in a cylinder and then kicked out.
I think R.J. Davis sets up his three-point shooting by getting to the free throw line.
Tar Heels in transition. Davis again. He'll penetrate and shovel, but it's going to be tipped and picked off by Martin. Martin giving it up. The scoop up around by Aberdeen, who's been a couple of those plays.
Look how quickly the conversion for Florida is from defense to offense.
Back to 16.
Good screen up top by Washington. That's why he's open.
Pass inside for Washington and a quick strike.
That's good execution by the Heels. As I mentioned before, North Carolina likes to score in the first less than 15 seconds of the shot clock. They're number 4, according to KenPom, in average length of possession.
Richard lost the handle, knocked around. Davis with it. R.J. Davis will back it away and try to hit a long one, but too strong. Trimble will come away and drive it again with the right hand. Yes!
Letting him play a little bit around the rim.
This pace has heated up quickly. Timeout, 49.7.
They're not going away, Dave. They keep chipping away, fighting back. 2-for-1 opportunity here for the Gators coming back.
Should be a great Big 12 battle as well. That is in Stillwater. Well, this one's tightened up, as Florida has a 46-34 lead.
Let's see if Florida takes advantage of a 2-for-1 opportunity here. Looks like they're going to try to. They're going to try to score quickly here so they get the ball back.
Clayton off the screen, back to Condon. Condon wants to make a move inside, lost his footing, and he travels.
I don't even know why he tried to counter. He already had his player beat going right. He didn't need to spin back.
And North Carolina will take a timeout. 35.8 to go before halftime. Hubert Davis's team closing the gap here after what has been a very rocky first half. But the closest they've been since it was 29-18. So a timeout to draw up a play and try to keep the momentum. It was so important going into the locker room at halftime here at the Jumpman. North Carolina fans looking for more than 6-4 at this point. First 8 games, they played Kansas, Auburn, and Alabama. Lost all of those games, then lost to Michigan State in Maui as well. That's a game they really felt they should have had. Now, Florida, their 4th top 10 opponent already on the schedule.
Well, there's no question it's been one of the toughest non-conference schedules. That's why this game is so important to North Carolina. They have to find a quality win.
Look at our leading scorers. Richard with 13, R.J. Davis with 13. And Trimble to put it in from the sideline here for North Carolina. Cadeau at the point. And 15 on the shot clock as they take it down.
They're going to go with about 9, 8.
Cadeau lost the dribble. 2 to get off his shot. Dribble with a long one. No. Rebound tapped. They've got 7 seconds. Here's Martin with it. Has time to get off a long shot. He can't bury it. And that's going to be the end of the first half. North Carolina certainly had momentum in their favor in the last couple of minutes.
Some fight in the Tar Heels here in the second half of the first half. Getting to the free throw line has definitely helped R.J. Davis get into rhythm.
But the Gators with the lead, 46-34 at the break.
At the beginning, free throw line to free throw line is where they can be elite with their speed. They got to score in transition and get downhill on the Gators.
Florida 7 out of 17 from the three-point line. North Carolina just 2 for 16. That certainly has to change for the Tar Heels. North Carolina benefiting at the foul line, as you mentioned, 10 for 13. So that's how they were able to stay alive, because they were on the verge of getting blown out of the building a couple of times. So we are underway here in the second half. Florida with the basketball, trying to go to 11-0. One of just a handful of teams, 5 total, who remain undefeated in D1. And a quick steal. Davis with the pick to begin the second half. To the left hand. Can't finish it. Florida got back defensively. And whose ball is it? It's going to stay on this end. Let's go to Myron Metcalf.
Yeah, David Davey, I don't know if I've ever seen Hubert Davis look that frustrated. He just kept repeating, we're not tough enough, we're not tough enough, we're not tough enough. And he said a lack of discipline throughout the first half is the reason they went into halftime with a double-digit deficit. He said that has to change in the second half.
Well, this is a nice start to the second half. Davis with a theft and now a three-pointer. He has 16.
There's glimpses of the old R.J. Davis in this game today.
Picked up by Cadeau. He will lay it in. Well, there's some toughness for you right out of the gate of the second half for the Tar Heels.
You measure toughness in details. Are you willing to get in a stance? All right. Are you willing to guard the ball? And then are you going to move it on the other end? It's simple, but it's tough to do.
Almost got another turnover there with Clayton. Shot clock down to 8. Nearly stolen away. Downstairs, and a misfire by the Gators, and another opportunity right away for North Carolina. They have come out with a head of steam, and Martin will pick up the foul reaching. That'll be his second.
Watch Seth Trimble right here. Gets his hand in the passing lane, up the line. That lateral pass is a pick six going the other way.
46-39. Cadeau looking for a seam. He's going to lay that one too strong. He fights for the rebound. Gets it back and lays it in. Lubin with the assist.
A little game pressure now on the Florida Gators.
And that brings this crowd to life here in Charlotte. And defensively collapsing. Lubin getting up high. On the other end, Powell. And the slam by Lubin. Timeout, Gators. Wow. North Carolina has closed it to 3.
Play a little D. See what happens when you go the other way. The Heels got the house rocking here at the Jumpman.
Was listening to Hubert Davis when he was questioning their toughness. They come out of the gate like a house on fire. Closest they've been since the score is 4-2. And I'll see if the Gators have an answer. Out of the corner, the jump shot, that won't drop. Martin can't connect. He was a big factor in their first half lead. Cadeau up top. Powell will swing it.
North Carolina's advantage every night is their speed and quickness, their athleticism in the backcourt. They have to be able to make that a factor. And they've done that here to start the second half.
Davis stops quickly, drills the jumper. He's caught fire. 18 points for R.J. Davis. And this is a one-point contest. That was in the blink of an eye. This is what Todd Gold was talking about before the game, when he feared the quickness, the speed of North Carolina. It was vacant in the first half. It's on display in the second. How can they let fly and swish into triple?
Remember, we talked about not being in close games. How would Todd Golden's team respond? I think he's going to learn something right here. Thomas Houck with a great three-point shot.
Down the lane, right hand. What a pretty play to lay it in.
So North Carolina hits a couple of perimeter shots, and the lane opens up.
Well, it was so dreadful beyond the three-point line in the first half. What a difference it makes. You hit a couple. Tough leaner there by Martin. He'll draw the foul. Elijah Martin, a grad out of Mississippi.
Incredible basketball body language right now by North Carolina. You can see they're all connected. They're communicating. And that's the thing that you have to do when you're facing some adversity. Now Todd Golden's team's got to do the same thing.
Lubin's second foul. Martin to the stripe, 82%. Guy was one of the heroes of FAU's run to the Final Four back in 2023. Let's toss it back over to Myron Metcalf.
Yeah, during that last time out, Elijah Martin was just telling his team, we're good, we're good, we're good. And Will Richards said, everybody relax. And then some other players said, this is where we want to be, as if to say, bring on the adversity.
Well, they found some right away.
They've been beating teams by a margin of 21 points. They're one of 5 remaining unbeaten teams in D1 men's basketball. They're getting a challenge now here in the next 16 and a half minutes.
Pass never got there and tipped out of play off Florida. As Condon got a hand on it. 16:25 to go in the game. Remaining undefeateds now: Tennessee, Florida, Oklahoma, Utah State, and Drake. Oklahoma also in this event. They will play Michigan tomorrow night and put that on the line. Davis looking to cross over, and Hawk with the foul.
The Jumpman on the men's side has 3 ranked teams, and one of them is not North Carolina. This just seems odd, doesn't it?
It sure does. Carolina coming in at 6-4. And we'll have the basketball here after the foul by the Gator big man.
What an incredible first-class event this has been. The 3rd year of the 4 Jordan brand schools.
Battle for the rebound. Clayton springs free with it. Here's Martin again. Way short. Out it rolls. Off of North Carolina. But Martin is usually pretty sure looking with those threes at 37%. Not so on that one. Gators from the baseline. Clayton looking for a cutter. Condon on the move with the slam. Got Richard airborne for 2.
There was a switch, and Cadeau was on Hawk. And when that happens, he can't protect the rim, right? Hawk stayed down there, and Cadeau was the low man in the eye.
Cadeau, nicely done. Great body control for the youngster.
Great contact balance.
53-49. Condon straight on. He's tough out there.
And this is the run that Florida went on in the first half when they went 10-0. It was their bigs and Will Richard.
North Carolina's cut it down to 1. Lubin.
Clear it out.
On Condon, right by him, lays it in. What a quick step.
Really nice execution. When Lubin catches that deep, he's going to get a one-on-one. He's got to be able to score.
Condon left open again. Not sure why, but a whistle underneath and a rebounding. 56-51. We've got 14:53 to go. We've got a game in the Jumpman. North Carolina with a big time.
And then North Carolina is featuring him right now offensively. They are looking for him, and he is hunting shots, and he needs to keep hunting them. Let's see what Florida does to counter here defensively when R.J. Davis is on offense.
R.J. 6 feet and also 5 rebounds. Here's Howe with that right shoulder leaning in for 2. Nicely done there. Out of the timeout. And the Gators continue to shoot a high percentage, but North Carolina's been better in the second half.
Aberdeen has that defensive assignment on R.J. Davis.
Not sure exactly what happened there. Cadeau just threw it away.
You know, Elliot Cadeau has been troubled by turnovers in the last 3, 15 assists, 12 turnovers coming into the game. Gonna make the easy play.
That's a push off there by Clayton and a clear offensive foul. Walter Clayton, his 3rd. Their top scorer at 19 a game. Keep an eye on that.
You got to take your defender below the level of the screen, and that angle needed to be better. Otherwise, Walter Clayton Jr. didn't need to push off.
Clayton, by the way, no points in the last 11 minutes of play. So Carolina doing a good job on him.
R.J. Davis getting to that right hand. He creates incredible separation with his acceleration off that action.
Cadeau on to penetrate and kicks. Got an open shooter in Jackson, but no. 58-51 Florida. It's been down to 1 here in the second half, and a great surge by Carolina. But can they keep it rolling? They're going to get it back as it bounced right to Davis. They want Jackson to fire. He's got it. A triple from the corner. Ian Jackson, a freshman.
And he's made a 3 in every game this season that he's played in. And that's a confident shooter right there. You missed the last one. You don't hesitate.
Look at 23 against Alabama. Confidence indeed. Richard to the baseline. He sinks it.
He is a tough competitor. So good off the bounce. Transfer from Belmont. And a really good three-point shooter.
Cadeau stepping inside. And one, and a foul as Withers took the hit. And now you're seeing Elliot Cadeau create a little bit in that lane with exactly 13 minutes to go. For Houck, that's going to be his fourth foul.
What a nice take. Cadeau and a nice drop-off. Good cut from the weak side by Withers to make himself available and get into the vision of Cadeau.
So it'll be Withers at the line, a 65% shooter. Florida, at least for a while, has lost a key big guy to 6'9" Thomas Houck. He goes to the bench. And that's a three-point play for Withers. So back to a three-point game. Crowd alive again here at the Spectrum Center. That pass barely got to Alexis. Here's Martin. Martin threw a double, shot it anyway. Cadeau out of the pack with it. Davis will fire it. Richard mishandles the rebound. It goes back to North Carolina. So the Tar Heels catch a break there. Now, most of the crowd, since the way Carolina came out to begin the second half, has not sat down. Remaining on their feet in the lower bowl. North Carolina will have possession here. 12:33 left in the game. Over the top, Washington tapped it. Withers, he'll hit a long one if he can, but he can't. Aberdeen. Withers coming out on him. Tight defense here. Aberdeen again. Got it. Boy, is he a confident shooter.
And he is really good off the bench. He provides a spark. He's got the R.J. Davis matchup. Now he's on Jackson.
He's got 12. Yep, Jackson. Back for Cadeau. There's Washington with a catch. Denied. Condon got a hand on it. And it's going to remain North Carolina ball. We go back to that last one by Aberdeen, looking smooth.
He's shifty off the bounce. He's really good at rejecting screens. But right here, he slips into the corner and gets his feet organized at the break and sticks it from deep.
Family, got a couple of Georgia grads. And I still think, come big game time, they're the better coach than Kirby. You know, managing the clock and managing late games. And they've got that pedigree. I'm going to go Georgia. That's a long shot for a lot of people. I know what the season they've had, but they're pretty darn good. 63-57 here. Turned into a good basketball game. You were commenting in a timeout. Todd Golden does not look really happy.
Didn't think they executed well the last 2 minutes of the first half. They had opportunities. They had a 2-for-1. They didn't complete. And then I don't think they've executed perfectly here in the second half.
Off the inbounds of theft, Richard comes up with a Condon back into play.
This is a team that moves the ball, that's fluid. The ball doesn't get stuck. They got great balance offensively. I think they got to get back to moving the ball, switching sides of the floor, taking advantage of punishing North Carolina with their front line.
Carolina has had luck turning them over. Alexis thought about a three. Here's Martin. He'll try one. That missed badly. And those were the shots that were falling in the first half. They're not so much in the second half.
Well, the guards are doing a good job on the glass for North Carolina.
Third annual Jumpman Invitational from Spectrum Center here in Charlotte. Dave O'Brien, Deb Antonelli, and Meyer Metcalf with you. Number 7, Florida, in a battle here. Their undefeated season on the line against North Carolina. Here's the swing. Trimble will take it on the attack. He's denied. Got rid of it. Cadeau straight on. Rebound comes to the Gators, trying to run with it. Aberdeen to the paint, jumping inside, but he'll draw the foul on the deck. And 10:41 fouled by Cadeau, his second.
I mean, it is physical in the paint, around the rim, on the glass. That's to Florida's advantage.
Tyson back on now. K. Tyson, 6'7" junior for North Carolina. He had 23 on Saturday against LaSalle, a career high.
And Florida able to build this lead here without Walter Clayton Jr.
Davis, it comes right to him. No trip on the play, no foul, and he lays it in.
Just getting ready to tell you, Dave, I thought Denzel Aberdeen has done a fantastic job. He's been aggressive and he's been able to attack without Walter Clayton Jr. being aggressive offensively and not playing as well on that side of the floor.
Another rebound for RJ. So a bunch of those, he has 20 points. 63-59. In the second half, North Carolina has been by far the better team. Jackson penetrates and backs it in.
See, that is a smart play. You get the switch, you back it up, North Carolina clears it out for him to go one-on-one.
Aberdeen over the top and a slam by Alexis. We're seeing some basketball here the last 7-8 minutes.
Because they're not fouling, the game's not stopping.
Davis again, harassed from behind, lost it. Thought he got fouled on the play, but the pick by Tyson to return the favor.
Good defense by Martin.
Ian Jackson, a freshman from the Bronx, want to move to his right, down his left, and lays it in. That was a dandy.
The same switch, a great call by Hubert Davis. He knows that switch is going to happen. Jackson can take Condon off the bounce.
2-point game, or ejection, but a foul too. With 9:10 to go, go back to the other end, and the nifty lay-in by Jackson.
I mean, look at this crossover. Keeps his focus on the finish, not on the contact. And Lubin with a foul on the other end.
Alexis to the line.
Aberdeen and Alexis have played well for Todd Golden here in this stretch.
Alexis, a freshman, but a big one, 6'8", 240.
I do believe, Dave, though, for Florida to come in here and win, Walter Clayton Jr. has to make some plays. When it gets close to winning time, he trusts his work, and his teammates trust him.
The senior leading them in scoring, also in assists. Alexis, that didn't touch anything, and out it goes.
Walter Clayton Jr. told us today a shoot-around. He could have left. He could have gone pro. He wanted to come back. He wanted to play because he wanted to win. I definitely believe he'll have an impact on this game.
North Carolina's game, points off turnovers, get in transition. And they have 11 points off turnovers in the second half. Florida has 0. Opportunity to tie it here. Jackson with another move. A fall away. Got it! He is putting on a show, the freshman.
If Florida's going to keep switching that screen and putting a big on him, he's going to keep doing the same thing. That's 3 in a row for Jackson.
Martin flips it up there, and it'll roll in. A lot of iron, but it drops. So back to a 3-point game as we approach the 8-minute mark in Charlotte.
Walter Clayton Jr. is on the Jackson matchup, and he's not going to want to switch this.
Davis has been cooking. His jumper, got it. RJ has it rolling here at the Spectrum Center. Back down to 1. Poked away. Trimble trying to get to the rim. Lays it up and in. North Carolina surging into the lead. 69-68. The story of this second half, toughness for North Carolina. That's what their coach was preaching at halftime.
The second half. And Florida has been beating teams by a margin of 21 points. They're number 7 in the country. They're one of 5 unbeatens remaining. North Carolina has used their speed and athleticism and their ability off the bounce, especially their defensive energy, to generate some good offense.
Yeah, Hubert Davis before the game talked a lot about this team and what they can do defensively. He said they'd have to make a bunch of big changes to win some of these close games. He said a good defensive effort, and that will change some of these outcomes that they've been on the losing end of.
Trimble called for the foul as Clayton went down in the backcourt. But 70-68. North Carolina with the lead with 7:52 to go. Now the question is for Florida, winning by 21 a game, no close games. How are they going to handle this?
Well, Walter Clayton Jr. told me today that he trusts his teammates, he trusts the coaching staff, that they will put him in the right execution.
Markland will know.
That's the first time we've seen an Iverson cut all day out of Florida, all night.
Look at this, another case of a Carolina player, in this case, R.J. Davis ripping away a rebound, which has happened several times here in the second half. That caused a foul by Will Richard of Florida, his second. And Hubert Davis preaching toughness, questioning his team at the break. And they've been tough as nails since halftime. Davis nearly lost it, got it back, banked it in. So it's all working right now.
Incredible balance. Looks like the old RJ, doesn't it?
And North Carolina's made 7 straight shots. Clayton trying to pull up, denied by Trimble. Thomas Huck back in the game, playing with 4 fouls. Shot clock is down to 8. Huck gets it back. That'll be well short. Rebounded away and up and off the iron. Chinyelu with a miss and another foul underneath with 6:52 to go. And that'll be number 3 on Trimble. And the Gators back to the bench for some size, and Condon, the 6'11 sophomore, will report back in now for Todd Golden. And it's Martin to the line.
North Carolina's second half effort on the glass has closed the gap right now, too. They're all even on the boards.
North Carolina was down 12 at halftime. The foul shot stopped a 7-0 run.
They got in a stance, and they've been playing some D, and they are connected on that end of the floor. It's allowed them some easy transition up the floor, which they didn't get in the first half.
Back to 2. Davis has been the show here in the second half, along with Ian Jackson, who has the ball now, who has the most spectacular shots in the game.
Switch. Clear it out.
Jackson fires. Too strong. Rebound will be controlled by Condon on the baseline. And now the Gators looking for a steady hand. Out again. Banging inside and draws the foul on Tyson. Dave Tyson, a junior. 6:20 to go. His second.
Got to stay vertical. The official didn't think he was.
So hot to shoot, good foul shooter, 83%. North Carolina's biggest deficit in this game was 17 points. So what a fight back by Hubert Davis and company. And their crowd has gotten revved up to a deafening degree. Another one coming for Howe. Oxford, Pennsylvania.
Right now, basically it's 5 guards on the floor for Hubert Davis.
Clayton, no room to shoot. Gets to the baseline, lays it in, and a whistle too. He draws the foul. He'll be on the line looking for a three-point play.
Let's see how long Hubert Davis can stay with 5 guards on the floor against the size of Florida. It's a good take right here by Walter Clayton Jr. This might get him going.
Getting it going indeed has to be a priority here in the last 6 minutes. Those were his first points in the second half. He's 19 points a game for the Gators. Davis picked up foul number 1.
He's also coming off of consecutive games where he's made 5 3-pointers. Last 3 he's been shooting at 44% from the 3-point line.
Gators back on top by 1. So settle in for these last 6 minutes. Swing Washington. And it's going to be out off Florida. So North Carolina retaining possession. In for Trimble. Davis always hawking a shot, and he's so quick on the release. And here he goes again. That rimmed out.
Very much ISO 101 for the Heels right now. But they've been very good at recognizing the switches, giving the right players taking the shots.
Clayton trying to shred the D. Off the iron. Made the move he wanted to make. Did not get the roll though. Davis in transition now for North Carolina. Jackson to his left. Down the lane again. Spins in 2 more.
How talented is that young freshman? Wow.
Lighten him up in the second half. A shove and a foul on him there. But the McDonald's All-American has been spectacular.
A little too excited on the defensive end. But look at this. He's got a great change of pace. He doesn't need much space. He slithers through to the rim.
Doesn't need much space. Didn't get much growing up. One of 7 brothers in his household. Richard to the line. 86% foul shooter. And drops in the first. This one just feels like the last 5 minutes going to go back and forth in Charlotte. Game 1 of the Jumpman Invitational. Number 7, Florida and North Carolina.
First class event in Charlotte by the Charlotte Sports Commission. They have these 4 great basketball programs here representing the Jumpman brand. Outstanding.
Yep, of the teams here, only 1 is unranked. Florida, the highest ranked, number 7. Davis bumping back and knocks in a triple. That's deadly, and he has 27.
He loves this gym.
He does. Clayton leads. Yes, he got 2 and a whistle as well.
Yeah, here comes Walter Clayton Jr. He kept telling you he was going to insert himself at some point. And this is the time right now, winning time. Look at this separation right here. He doesn't separate his elbow or his shoulder into Martin. The official's not going to call that, and they give him enough space to be able to knock down a triple.
3-point play for Clayton. Cadeau picked up his 3rd foul, by the way. And we're tied at 77. Completely different game here in the second half of the first half.
A completely different North Carolina team in the second half.
Baseline, quick strike, and guess who? Davis again. Well, he's having one of those nights. You and I have covered him a lot, where he's had those 25, 30-point games plus. Playing with a leaner block. Davis, tight D on him. Cadeau. Washington with a slam. Timeout on the floor with 4 minutes to go.
How would Florida respond with some game pressure? Just a nice cut on the baseline. Lost. How do you lose R.J. Davis? It forces a timeout. What a game here in Charlotte.
Great Phil Ford at North Carolina for 3rd on the all-time scoring list. So it goes Hansbrough, Baycott, and now R.J.
That's impressive.
By the way, along with the points, 8 rebounds and 4 steals. So he's having a night.
Well, the North Carolina defense has turned Florida over 17 times, 8 here in the second half.
Tell you what, Hubert Davis had the right thing to tell his team at halftime. There's a ways to go yet, still 4 minutes, but what an impact that seemed to make, challenging his team's toughness. And they have been ultra tough in the second half. Under 4 left. Here's Martin lining up a long run. That won't fall. Big rebound by Condon. Right back up. He's denied but fouled from behind by Jalen Washington.
Yeah, Hubert Davis maybe stayed one possession too long with that small lineup, especially on a defensive possession, right? I mean, right here, this is just a tough take right here by Condon.
Tell you what, you and I have been wowed by the performance of the 6'4" freshman Ian Jackson for North Carolina. The moves that he has made.
Let me correct myself. I'm wrong about that. He did switch to the bigger lineup at that last timeout. Now he's going to get Ben Allen Lubin back on the floor.
You know, Hubert Davis challenged his team and their toughness at halftime. Todd Golden did the same thing with his team in his last time out. He said, we got to show some heart. We got to show some guts. We only have a few minutes left. So it feels like the message now is Todd Golden's on toughness.
Condon with another one. Only 64% at the line, but that rattles in. So 81-79. R.J. Davis working on a 29-point game. Carolina fans have been waiting on this. He'll take a hit.
Illegal screen, I think, by Lubin.
The foul instead will go against Florida, and Will Richard is third. So it'll be Davis to the line.
That was a tough call to go against Florida right there.
Yeah, close. Davis, one of the great foul shooters in the history of North Carolina. With 3.5 minutes to go. Too strong. Rebounded away by the Gators and trailing by 2 with the ball. Clayton swinging for Condon. Condon working on Lubin. They go body to body. Nothing there. Jumper from the corner is too strong. Off the mark by Martin.
Good D by Lubin inside.
Cadeau, a much better second half. That one tipped out by the Gators off Martin's hand. So the assists have been piling up for him. Of course, he's had hot shooters in Davis and Jackson to give it to.
So you get to the end of the game here and you go with who you trust. And you want the ball in R.J. Davis's hands if you're Hubert Davis.
So Carolina to check it in. And again, most of the Carolina fans, and that's most of the building, about 90%, been on their feet. A timeout. And we will take the break as well. This is a quick one, 30 seconds. North Carolina 81 and Florida 79. Queen City all lit up here for the Jumpman and Christmas time, of course, as well. North Carolina with the lead. They were down as many as 17 in the first half. They were down 12 at halftime. Made a furious rally in the opening minutes of the second half to close the gap, eventually overtaking Florida. It's been back and forth in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
So Hubert Davis had to call that timeout. Not pleased with his team, not cutting hard and executing on an out-of-bounds play. Now the Heels are down to 2 timeouts.
Davis up on the logo. Nice pass, and that leads to a foul on the bounce. That was with 9 on the shot clock. The foul on the Gators, and that'll go against Condon, number 2.
Dave, in the first half, North Carolina couldn't shoot it very well. 2 for 16 from the three-point line. So the Florida defense started to suck in and pinch. Now in the second half, their defense opened up the lane because they got some easy buckets. They could set their D. They did a great job of moving the ball. They got R.J. Davis going. Now the lane looks like it's open. It's wide open. The North Carolina guards are really tough to keep in front in a one-on-one.
And Lubin for the year, 74% at the line. North Carolina, his 3rd stop, previously Notre Dame and Vandy. So those 3 outstanding academic institutions, pretty clear he's an excellent student. He makes 1 of 2. 82-79 Carolina. North Carolina badly needs a win against a highly ranked opponent. Florida has yet to lose. They're 10-0. Handing off for Martin. Martin with a step back. Sinks in a three.
He gets the switch, and he drives Lubin back into the paint and then pulls it back and sticks it.
82-82. Cano penetrates, hesitates. That was nicely done.
And one of the things Todd Golden thought his biggest could keep North Carolina's guards in front over the course of 40 minutes, but that has not been the case here in the second half.
2 minutes to go here in Charlotte. Are rounded up by Clayton, but they'll get a second shot at it. The Gators win the rebound. Martin looking for room to operate and takes a hit with 1:49 to go. Elijah Martin fouled on the play by Lubin.
Watch the acceleration right here off this handoff. And then the ability to pull it back and shoot the deep three. And then Cadeau again. Bigs on Littles all second half, and the Littles are winning.
So Martin to the stripe, 82% there. And 5 for 7 so far tonight. So here the Gators with all that experience and all that leadership, really going to rely on that, especially their guards here down the stretch. Martin back to the line to tie it. And they got them both. Shinyulu back on, the 6'10 sophomore for the Gators. All tied up at 84 with 1:40 to play. Davis, bad pass. Now a scrap for that. They're going to call a tie-up. She's going to stay on this end with the possession arrow.
I mean, Cadeau threw it at Davis's feet.
Just a little over 1.5 minutes to go. Todd Golden does not know this sensation of a game being on the line with his Gators this year at this point in the contest.
And keep an eye on Ian Jackson right here, inbounding the basketball. He might get it right back because he's got Houck on him.
10 to get off a shot for North Carolina. And he just lost it. And Cadeau has been pretty reliable the last 10, 12 minutes. Sloppy there and gave it away. So the Gators with it in a tie game. And Hubert Davis back to the bench and brings on Withers, the 6'9 grad. He replaces the 6'4 Jackson. And Clayton will walk it up. Deflected and stolen away. Now batted out by Florida, but he was on the line. North Carolina will turn it over.
Tell you what, Seth Trimble has done a fantastic job. He's got a lot of tips and deflections tonight. He gets one here. Withers towing the line. Are they going to review this?
Ron Gruber heading over to the scoring table with 1:09 remaining. Gators will have the ball.
So they're not calling it a change of possession, so they're keeping it at 14.
On the shot clock. Shaw's going to get a little space between the defenders here as Clayton Jr. looks to check it. In for Martin. Martin on Davis. Pretty good battle there. They go head to head. Martin's far away. No. Rebound tip. Controlled by the Gators. Right back up. Richard will stick it in. Under 1 minute to go. And it's Florida by 2. And a timeout North Carolina. The Gators with their first lead since this. And another brutal opponent tonight in number 7 Florida. But in desperate need of a win like this.
This is a Q1. And their next game is UCLA in New York. So they've got opportunities, and this is a big one right here.
R.J. Davis has led them back. They were on the brink of getting blown out here in Charlotte on several occasions in the first half. Back for Davis, left open for a three. Gators by 2 on the ball.
Got to play good D right here. No fouls to give.
Clayton will take his time.
This is Walter Clayton Jr. time.
19 points a game. And 33 in the NCAA tournament against Colorado, so he's been on the big stage. Clayton gives up the dribble, gives it up for Martin with the shot clock winding down off the back of the iron, and it comes right back to the Gators. And Davis does with 7.9 remaining. He had to foul.
An offensive rebound gave Florida the lead, and an offensive rebound right here could be the difference. And that was Walter Clayton Jr., who hustled to keep that basketball alive off the glass.
So it'll be Houck at the line, 83% foul shooter. And rolls the first one in. So a 3-point game.
Good timeout by Todd Golden. He wants to make sure he gets the right personnel on the floor. You're going to have to switch on everything regardless of what happens here. Right now, it's just...
So it'll be Houck back to the line for his second shot. Guy's been in foul trouble most of the second half because we're playing with 4 fouls.
You know that Florida's going to switch on everything. They've been switching.
Well, give Florida credit. They're in a 10-3 run in crunch time. Trying to make that 11-3 here. One more shot for Thomas Houck. 6'9" sophomore. And clutch there. Big time.
See if they take a foul right here. Why would you take that foul?
They did. Aberdeen committed the foul.
I looked over at Todd Golden. I thought he was motioning to his guys. Maybe he was saying not to foul. 6.2 on the clock. You stop the clock and you let North Carolina go to the free throw line.
Why would you do that? Aberdeen, the junior, did.
It's a miscommunication for sure.
Well, we're going to find out just how costly that is as Cano goes to the line for a 1-and-1. He is 74% there with 6.2 to go.
He's got to make the first one, and then do you consider missing the second? Because then you've got to foul if you're North Carolina.
And around out it goes. And a reach and a foul by Trimble with 3.8 to go. And Florida caught a break there. Deciding to foul inexplicably, but now 3.8 seconds to go. And this will be 2 shots for the Gators to essentially ice this thing. It'll be Richard to the line, 86%. And Richard sinking number 1. So the Gators get in that tight fight. And down the stretch, when it's mattered, they've been a better team. Look at Golden getting those Florida fans rocking and rolling. A 13-3 run to close the game for the Florida Gators. And that'll do it, 90-84. Florida remains undefeated. They are 11-0 as North Carolina drops to 6-5 and loses yet again to a top 10 opponent.